Edison was a greater genius than Einstein by far. Aristotelian versus Platonic worldview. How can I possibly make this statement? Surveys consistently rate Albert Einstein as one of the greatest geniuses to have ever lived, but I think these two questions clarify my point of view. Can you name a way in which your daily life has been improved by Einstein's discoveries? Can you name a way in which your daily life has been improved by Edison's inventions? If you measure genius by positive impact on the world, Edison had a much bigger impact on the world than Einstein. It's not widely known or appreciated, but Einstein did not receive his Nobel Prize for his work in relativity. In fact, the Nobel Prize Committee thought that there wasn't enough evidence to support his theory of relativity. What he received his Nobel Prize for was his explanation of the photoelectric effect, which led to the idea that light was quantized. Despite this, recent studies of the photoelectric effect made it clear that in fact, it wasn't light that was quantized, but it was the energy levels of the electrons in the metals that were quantized. I can hear people saying, but what about the fact that GPS, which we all now use every day because it's in our phones, is enabled only by Einstein's theory of relativity? There is a big push to say that GPS wouldn't work without Einstein's theory of relativity. But of course, there's a problem here. That is, distinguishing between time dilation and the accuracy of the clocks. Newton warned about confusing the measurement of things with the things themselves, and this seems to apply to Einstein's theory of relativity. But even if we grant that GPS requires Einstein's theory of relativity, that's just one small thing. It didn't make the GPS system possible, just made it maybe a little more accurate. While I was making this video, someone corrected me that Einstein had one patent. It was a patent on refrigeration that used no moving parts, just a heat source, which can be found in many RVs and campers. But this has nothing to do with what Einstein is famous for, and has a very small impact on people's lives. The mainstream media has gone out of its way to paint inventors as crackpots and cranks, as is shown in the popularized version of the inventor in Back to the Future, while glorifying theoretical scientists. In my opinion, this glorification of theoretical scientists and this degradation of practical inventors is a whole plot by the mainstream media and deep state to push a Platonic point of view and undermine an Aristotelian point of view of the world. You might think I'm reaching, but I did a whole video on how mathematical Platonism has invaded physics, economics, and other areas of science, like climate research and COVID models. One of the most famous physicists right now is Roger Penrose, who is pushing mathematical Platonism. We have this situation where we've created this theory called the Big Bang Theory, which is clearly based on Christianity and Plato. Mainstream physicists try to prop up this theory by creating a situation where they suggest that 85% of all matter in the universe is dark matter, which we can't see, we can't detect, except that it makes the model work. According to modern physics, dark matter makes up 85% of the total mass of the universe, while ordinary matter only accounts for 5%. Notice that modern physics has provided almost nothing in the way of practical inventions, things that make our lives better on a day-to-day basis. Despite this, it's theoretical science that's glorified, and inventors who create practical things that actually have to work are derided as crackpots and cranks. Edison, who was one of the greatest inventors of all time, has been derided in the media for his faults. It's strange and somewhat telling how the same mainstream media doesn't give a shit about the fact that Marx was a useless parasite and philanderer. Edison was a prolific inventor who had over 1,000 patents issued. Some of his top patents were the incandescent light bulb, something that we all use every day. Because of the light bulb, he created the whole electrical distribution system. While he created it in DC and Tesla and Westinghouse perfected in AC, the basic structure was still laid out by Edison. Something that anybody who's had to live without electricity for any time knows is essential to almost everything in modern life. Edison also invented the first phonograph, which was the first recording of voice or music, and he invented one of the first motion picture cameras, both of which we use almost every single day and make our lives better. He improved the telephone by inventing the carbon microphone. Of course, we all use phones every day. He invented a nickel iron alkaline battery. He invented the mimeograph, which was one of the first duplicating machines. Though it's not widely known, he also invented a fluorescent lamp. So basically, almost everything that we use in modern life, he had a hand in. He even had patents on improving the control systems for airplanes. He also held patents on improved versions of Portland cement. He invented single-pour houses made of concrete, which still stand today in Indiana, which remind me of the whole idea of 3D printing concrete houses. We used to celebrate inventors in the United States. Now we're celebrating these theoretical Platonic scientists. This is a shift from an Aristotelian point of view, which is about this world and our life on earth, to a Platonic point of view, glorifying priests, so-called scientists who tell us about the world we can't perceive. A New Age heaven that fulfills us spiritually but not materially. We have to consult the high priests of science to tell us what reality is. If you disagree, you just don't understand the math. But America was built around an Aristotelian point of view, making our life here and now better, which is why people used to remark that Americans were some of the happiest, most optimistic people in the world, which they almost considered a criticism of Americans, deriding them as simpletons. So in my opinion, Einstein is not even a genius at all. Edison is one of the most supreme geniuses that ever lived. This is a cultural battle between Platonism and Aristotelianism. Freedom and prosperity are built on Aristotelianism. Long live freedom, damn it.